Well, I had some technical difficulty and I had to start a part two. I hope you don't mind too much. It's kind of long, but I'll try to keep it short. But the Apostle Paul wrote the epistle to the Romans about the year AD 60, and in his epistle to those of the true church in Rome, Paul said in his salutation, and I'm sure you have that. It's in Romans 16, 1. Hopefully, you have that knowledge about what he said on that part of the Bible. But basically, to sum it up, it is inconceivable that Paul sends his regards to no less than 26 of the saints in Rome by name, plus others, and doesn't even mention Peter. If Peter was in Rome, and if Peter was this guy who was the head of the papacy or whatever and was starting the Roman Catholic Church, why would Paul not address him? Doesn't make any sense. Notice also that the church had met in the house of Priscilla and Aquila and not in a dedicated church or synagogue building. Paul offers salutations to everybody else in Rome, yet he sends no greetings to Peter, who must have been the most prominent of all the saints of Rome. If he were then indeed Bishop of Rome, but he was not. What ground is there for believing that the Apostle Peter was ever the Bishop of Rome? ? The only ground is that Roman Church asserts it. Evidence? There is absolutely none. The Bible or the Church? Quoting the late great lawyer, Sir Robert Anderson. Now, okay. Now bear with the following short explanation as we tie a few facts together. Paul tells us explicitly that the church at Rome was a Gentile church, Romans 1, 13, 15. Now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I purposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. So, as much as is in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. Furthermore, we discover through Paul's writings that Jews were exiled from Rome by the Emperor Claudius during much of the time that Peter was supposed to be the Bishop of Rome. Acts 18:2, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. Maybe for a little bit more. Third, the Galatians 2, 7 through 9. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter, for he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me towards the Gentiles. And when James, Cephas, Peter, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me Barnabas, the right hand of the fellowship, that we should go unto the heathen, and they unto the circumcision. At this conference in Jerusalem, it was clearly and repeatedly established that Peter should go to the Jews, or those of the circumcision, and Paul up to the Gentiles, or the heathen, referring to other nations. There were few Jews in Rome per Claudius' command, so Peter would have had little reason to go there to preach the gospel. So I think you get the point. I don't align. I think the Roman Catholic Church is trying to deceive man by using the prophecies of people like Nostradamus and Malachi, things like that. I don't see how they're trying to sit there and say that St. Peter was a Roman and he was the first pope and all this other nonsense. It doesn't even make sense. He was from Galilee. Why would Jesus pick a Roman? And it doesn't make any sense. I don't believe it. So as far as Pope Francis is concerned, there's a lot of stuff, controversy with, the churches in America doing child molestations, and basically the papacy in Rome just kind of, whatever. They kind of, I don't know, they kind of turn a cheek or blind eye. I don't know. They're not really. They got millions and billions of dollars. And they could enforce the papacy a lot better, and they could try to prevent, you know, people from raping kids in the church. I mean, you're supposed to go to the church to find God. It's not for a pedophile sinner dressed in a white robe to freaking punk kids. You understand? I mean, that's the whole deal here. So, if the third prophecy of the Fatima does come true, I guess I wouldn't be totally, I honestly, because there's, he's basically preaching against the factions of, the terrorist groups, and he's basically not taking it seriously as far as, thousands of kids getting raped and all these horrendous things. He's supposed to be some, major overwatcher or educator of the world or whatever. It's all a bunch of crap. And, I don't really see how the Pope being killed by terrorists is going to be the end of the world. It might be the end of the Roman Church. But honestly, I mean, that wouldn't hurt my feelings any if the Roman Church did go under. I really don't care. I mean, you have to be a Christian. Sorry. I mean, you can be whatever you want. That's fine. I don't really care. But ultimately, you're supposed to believe in Christ, and the Pope is just a man. Who cares? So, just beware of the false prophets. Beware of the beast. I don't think it's any coincidence that Nostradamus' Quatrain 66 was of the 6th century. He wrote his things in, well, he wrote them in quatrains, but they were, listed by century. So you have 666. It's right there, staring you right in the face. 666. All right. So hopefully, I just wanted to share this with you about seeing the documentary, and I just wanted to share a little of my thoughts and kind of back it up with a little biblical knowledge, a little biblical education. So thanks for bearing with me, and I hope I have a lot of interest in this video. Trying to expand my subscriber base. I mean, I don't mind having less than 20 subscribers. It doesn't really bother me, but I feel that as a competent researcher who does work very hard at what he does, I think I deserve a lot more notoriety and recognition. I'm not egotistical, but I'm just saying, I am educated, and I do my best to try to, to present the things I see in the world in a light that maybe not a whole lot of people see. I don't really know, but hopefully you like my take on this. It's a two-part series because I had some technical difficulties. So thanks for bearing with me. So that was kind of like my little micro summation of the last Pope with Wholesome by Scott Walter. Thank you very much for watching, and please like and subscribe. And have yourselves a good Labor Day with your families. Thanks a lot.